What if the Breeze theory that everyone has been speculating is not going to play out the way you think it will? Is it possible that Ronnie is not actually Breeze, but the person that is has already been revealed on the show, and I think that person just might be? How is it possible that we're already halfway through the season and you still aren't seeing what's right in front of your face? What if Ronnie is in fact Breeze, but the reason you don't believe it is because you didn't listen to a certain character closely? What if everyone are just pawns in Ronnie's master plan, but don't know it as yet? Is it possible that the key to understanding his true intentions lies in the conversation he had with another character that may lead to another major character's death this season? Hey everyone, Just Be here, and I gotta say, man, that video, when I put that together earlier today, that was really hilarious. Seeing it all play out, because it makes you just kind of, flip back, man. You're thinking about how music might be a bit loud. You're thinking about how you were so confident, right, throughout the season, and it all looked well. The evidence was lining up, and maybe it was a little bit of confirmation bias. I think that's what it was, It's like, I wanted it. I wanted it so badly to be wrong. But lo and behold, we can't always have what we want. Anyways, guys, my respiratory tract is still recovering from whatever COVID did to it. So still a little bit of coughing and whatnot. We'll have to push through, but it's not as bad as it used to be. But that shouldn't stop us from having a good time. First cough. So tonight we're gonna have a good time, guys. I think probably gonna be a couple of minutes, less than an hour. I don't think we need to kind of drag it on. I really want to cover some ground tonight about what went wrong about my theory, and mainly because I promised you guys that I would go ahead and do this if I was proven wrong and Ronnie was not actually Breeze, which we saw that he wasn't. But in the meantime, I want you guys to go ahead and drop some love in the comments. Let me know where you're from, and let me know your names. And it is going to be a call-in show, so I do want to drop the link at some point so that everyone, at least one or two people, can come up on camera and share their thoughts on what they think is going to be happening moving forward, what they think about the whole reveal about Unique being alive, and is he Breeze? I mean, and let me give you guys some context here, right? My whole purpose behind tonight is just to be accountable to the fact of what I said, right? I am not leaning on the theory that Unique is Breeze. I'm not saying that he's not. What I'm saying is I'm gonna keep my mouth closed and watch for season 4 to see what happens. What I want for you guys to do is I want you to come up and just share your thoughts on this whole thing. But again, we're only gonna be here for a couple minutes. Man, the last couple, let me tell you how this episode actually played out for me, right? I was jogging like I usually do every morning, and I was watching the episode on my phone as I was jogging. So it's sort of like, don't ask, right? Don't ask. And the moment that I saw Ronnie in this warehouse with Kanan, with this smug look on his face, I knew, bro, I knew. I was like, and he starts to break character. And it's crazy because I saw so many other people say the same thing. They were like, well, this ninja's starting to smile. He don't normally smile. And we see him start to stoop down. He goes to pick up the cash. And it's amazing because earlier on in the episode, we also see him clashing with Kanan. And so it should have clicked, at least to me, it should have clicked that by the time he got to the warehouse, like, hold on a second, him and Kanan are beefing, so why are they now acting like, they're all cool and clicked up now and whatnot? And it's like Kanan and doing the whole triple cross thing, and I don't know, man. See, this is the problem when you go ahead and you stand 10 toes down on a theory in front of all these people. Like, I was standing on business with that theory that Ronnie was breezed. But let's walk through it. So we got a couple of people dropping in. Let's see if I can add. We got David in Rio from Jersey. We got Dylan Toy World from Baltimore, Maryland. We got Washington, D.C., Stacy Odyssey. We got Gabrielle Sweeting from the Bahamas. We have Sean Family from Detroit. And we got DeMarcus Vaughn. He doesn't say, oh, VA. Okay, so he's from VA. So I thought Ronnie was Breeze. I'll leave that Breeze theory alone now. Yeah, bro, I mean, listen, I was bugged though. I'm not gonna lie. I was really bugged because like, dang it. And here's the part that made it worse, right? Bro, I woke up to a tweet from somebody who doesn't even follow me on Twitter /X. And I wake up 5:00 in the morning. And the tweet is just saying these two words. You lied! ! It's like, I know people was just waiting. They was just waiting, to see if I was gonna be right or wrong. But it is what it is, man. It's a TV show. Yeah, he had to be dealt with, bro. I mean, he was becoming a problem, man. He definitely was becoming a problem. So he had to be dealt with. But the only nigga that at least, like, I don't know. I got problems with that finale because, like, why set him up to be this whole goofy, like, character, you know what I'm saying, with the jacket and the TV and whatnot? Like, how y'all gonna explain that now moving forward? That's that's my thing. But anyways, Unique will sprinkle some crack on Ronnie and he will rise. Yeah, I've seen a couple of comments with some people and the whole Ronnie's not dead thing. We gotta stop this as Power fans. We gotta stop this whole situation. Like, people actually thought I was serious about when I said, well, Ghost could probably still be alive. Like, I don't actually, well, I wouldn't say I don't believe it. It's just, I won't publicly say it anymore. I'll just privately say it. So that's all you guys will get from me. But let's go on with the show tonight. I want to get through a couple of things so we can be able to discuss and you guys would be able to come up. Here's what I want to do from right now. I want to take the link to the call-in and I'm going to drop it in the chat. You guys don't have to click the link now because I'm not bringing people up right now. But all I'm doing is trying to pin this link until the time. So if I can actually freaking pin it, like, dang. There you go. So I'm going to pin link to call in the chat so when you guys are ready when I set it up. But let's move on. So first things first is the fact that Sasha Penn, who is the showrunner for Raising Kanan, I should have a camera inside here, like, what happened, bro? Like, leave me out of the thing. Like, what's good? There you go. So, Sasha Penn, who is the showrunner for Raising Kanan, he posted this whole thing on Instagram earlier last year when they wrapped up production of season 3 around March. And he was basically hinting that the Breeze plane was landing, right? And it got so many people thinking and anticipated for, this new season. And so we always knew at some point he was going to show up in this season. Now, I was hoping it would have been Ronnie, but can we now agree at this stage, or what do people think? If we look at the fact that he said they were going to deliver Breeze, you see the Breeze plane landing this season, and we ended up getting, in the last couple of seconds of the season, Unique returning, Zombie Unique, like I like to call him, from the dead. Can we now agree that that's probably what the character is? Now, I'm not positing any theory here. I'm just asking, can we agree on that? Can we? As the fans, you guys put out the theories. Let me read your theories. Let's discuss your theories. You know what I'm saying? But this was the biggest hint about it. If you look at it from Reddit, if you look at it from other YouTubers, everybody far and wide was talking about this being the sort of the thing that we need to look out for in terms of what's going to be happening in season 3 of Raising Kanan. And we know right now they're currently filming season 4. Once they got renewed, I think it was late November, kind of right after the writer's strike, they got picked back up, and they're now shooting season 4 as of early December. So a lot of production leaks are starting to come out, and people are starting to see photos, I think, of Unique on set and whatnot. And the whole theory right now is that he is not the same person. I mean, he is, based on some of the set leaks, he looks a little different, of course, with the face being bashed in, but he might not be the same Unique. I'd like to hear what people have to think about that, though, because my whole feeling about it is I wasn't a fan of bringing characters back from the dead unless it was Ghost, but the whole marked up face situation, at least with 50, when future Kanan was kind of brought back from the fire, I don't know, even that was kind of odd back then watching it. I've been watching Power since the original first started, so even that was odd back then trying to see that. But maybe I'm nitpicking, you know what I'm saying? What do you guys think about it inside the comments? How did you feel about the overall comparison between how future Kanan survived the fire and how Unique ended up surviving the whole getting bludgeoned by Ronnie and everything? I mean, this is things we talk about, because my whole thing that I said in my last video was Ronnie, and Power, it made sense because Power felt like this more realistic and grounded show, and so it made sense that they weren't going to just introduce some new character at the end and make him breathe. So that's why I was keep on following the thread, of it being Ronnie. But yeah, so somebody else came up and said I was wrong about Ronnie, but it was clear they wanted to drop it off and let Unique be Breeze. So Jonathan Santos is now jumping on the theory that they want Unique to be Breeze. In the grand scheme of things, when you think about it, it's not that bad of an idea. If you think about it, because we've come to really like and enjoy him, over the years and throughout the season so far, particularly within this last season 3. If you guys remember how it started off, my whole thing was like, man, Rock and Unique, man, I love the vibes, you know what I'm saying? And so when he was deleted off, I was like, I don't know, I mean, why did you do my boy like that? So anyways, yeah, I think I kind of believe that that's what they're doing, but I shudder to say it aloud. But yeah, so someone else goes up here and says that I believe Ronnie was supposed to be Breeze, but the writers changed the scenario. So the challenge with that is these scripts are written and approved at a studio level far in advance. So I don't want people to think, and I've seen this around the internet, right? People have said they're saying that the whole Breeze theory was changed last minute because the fans' reaction to Unique getting deleted and whatnot. But you got to think about this. The show was finished filming from March of last year. So by the time we got around to episode 10, which was called Made You Look, we had not even any idea what was going on. So that's not necessarily true that they changed the scenario. I guess we can say that as the episodes went along, it seemed like they were kind of backpedaling with some things, because the list of things that Ronnie was hitting on that list as it relates to comparing him to Breeze was deep. It was deep. If you guys remember my last live stream, I mean, I was like, it's lining up, bro. But I don't think they backpedaled on it. I think this was always there. Gotcha, sort of plan and whatnot. But yeah, it is what it is. Looks like we got another comment here. Says there wasn't a long period of time where we didn't know Kanan was alive. At the end of the episode, the cop said someone broke out. We already knew. Exactly, that is true. At the end of that episode in OG Power, we knew immediately he was still alive. So that's why it was a little more realistic, instead of the couple episodes going by and we're not seeing the character and police are saying, this, that, and the third, and other characters are saying he's dead, and there's blood found here and there. And so I get it. I get it. I got problems with this. I got problems with it. I like it, but I got problems with it, man. I feel like in some ways we did take a step back in quality with that decision. That's my thing, because I always praise the crew behind the show and the writing style and the pacing and just the overall quality of the content that they produce on Raising Kanan compared to the other Grand Theft Auto shows. Grand Theft Auto, let's be real. But that decision at the end, it was just so left field that I was like, man, we were really heading somewhere. But then the other side of me is like, when you really think about it, Unique is actually not a bad guy to be Breeze. Ghost said Breeze, he loved him like a brother. So it would make sense. Unique is that guy. But that's just how I feel about it. I mean, overall, things could have been different, but yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. The writers changed the original script. Now they will make Unique morph into Ronnie characteristics. Exactly right. That is exactly right. They now have to make him start doing the routine things and the watching TV things and all that kind of. You have to now make him line up with what we've classically known him to be, if that's the direction that they're going, right? And that is a very, very big if. Rico Soprano says, Ronnie ain't Breeze, Unique ain't Breeze. Y'all love bad writing. Unique coming back was bad writing. Rico, here's what I want you to do. You see that same call-in link that I have on the chat? When I say it's time to call in, I want you to come up and talk this, because you have a pretty interesting comment here. You're saying, obviously, Ronnie wasn't the guy. And now you're saying Unique isn't the guy either, even though the writers are trying to make it seem like they set it up to be the guy. And you also agree with me that Unique coming back was bad writing. So I want you to hit that link when it's time to call in, bro. I'm going to remember you. But moving on to the character map. If you guys remember this from my last live stream, we walked through, and by the way, if you've been on this live stream for the last 15 minutes and you haven't hit that like button, what are you really doing? You know what I mean? You're just sitting here watching content and just like, you hitting the like button? Come on. But I think overall, we got to revise, of course, this chart. So you'll see that I went and checked off Ronnie's face at the top of this food chain for what we know to be the organization that Ghost, Tommy, Kanan were originally a part of, whereas Breeze was their boss. Now, I just put Unique's face there with the question mark. I'd like for people joining in, because we have a lot of people hopping in right now. I'm not saying that he's Breeze. I'm asking you, what do you think about this whole theory? So that's where I'm going to look at it right now. Steve says they completely messed up the writing by feeding into fan wants and bringing Unique back. Again, though, Steve, they wouldn't have known that at the time just because of the fact that the show finished filming from early last year. So there's no way for them to, they don't shoot the show week to week and be like, okay, we'll shoot one episode, put it out and be like, okay, how do people like it? Didn't like it? Okay, scrap it again, rewrite it. Nah, they don't do that. But I see how it can feel that way though. That's the thing. I understand how it can feel that way. Yeah, I mean, we can wait for them to show us Breeze, but we're just talking, bro. We just talking, man. We just chopping it up and just enjoying ourselves and seeing what it is. They left us with a very, very big question mark. And the reality is that we're probably not going to see season 4 this year, because the writer's strike that happened last year pushed a lot of things back. And if they finish filming, which I think filming usually takes about maybe 6 to 8 months, someone correct me if I'm wrong, how long is the typical production time for Raising Kanan? I've seen and read it to be around 6 to 8 months, but I could be wrong. So if they started in December shooting principal photography again, what that means is by the time we get to maybe closer to summer, they'd probably be wrapping up, and then Starz has them go through a rigorous editing process, post-production and all these things, and his marketing. So I don't think we'll see season 4 this year. If you keep in mind, we didn't see season 3 until the ending part of 2023. I think we're going to see it early 2025. And the same thing with Force. That's when we're going to go ahead and see that come back as well. But book 2, I think we'll probably see not right after BMF, but probably closer to like early summer. We might see that because BMF will run from like March to maybe like May-ish, maybe June. But then we'll probably see book 2 kind of come in July, August-ish. That's usually like those power premiere date periods. Raiden Blizzy Gaming says, the writers as a whole made me think that Ghost, Kanan, Breeze, and Rolla had a very tight friendship. I don't see Unique in that, to be honest. You think so? Think about Unique and his charm and how he was with his guys and his crew. Like, they loved him and they respected him. And now it makes sense, if they decide to go in that direction, why they would make him that. I could see a young Ghost coming on the scene and saying, you know, this is the Unique that I love. You know, I like a brother. I could see that happen, you know. But that's if they decide to make him Breeze. I'm not saying that. And y'all ain't gonna catch me saying that anytime soon. But overall, this was the organization that we classically knew. And rumor for book 2 is that this summer, it's gonna be, I think it's just sometime this summer. It's gonna have to be sometime this summer. Power has specific times of the year they commonly do it. You can always cross-reference it on Wikipedia. There's a specific time that Power shows usually premiere. But yeah, so Unique at the top of the food chain as this organization is a question mark. And then below it, we got Ghost, next to them Tommy and Kanan, and then obviously we got Rolla below that, who was a bit of a mentee and also a brother to Ghost as well, and who Ghost ended up taking out at some point. So, you know, looking at this whole chart right now, it makes sense that it could be someone. I mean, in another universe, it's beautiful writing to think that it was a red herring this whole time, and the number one biggest character from an implication standpoint had always been there, and we just didn't know it. In alternate universe, it's beautiful writing, but in this universe, it makes me feel some kind of way that they kind of played it out that, like, you know, that way. But yeah. Kanan intro in season 1 of Unique shows how much he looked up to him. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch season 1, and because I wanted to pull in some footage of how possibly Unique and Kanan may have crossed over at some point, but I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the very first season of Raising Kanan again, but it would be good to see if there are scenes of that. And I think there was at least maybe 1 or 2, but I could be wrong. I could have sworn that Power Book 2 Season 4 is supposed to start May 3rd, 2024. Look, if they said that, cool. That's pretty close to BMF, though. BMF's coming up in beginning of March. I'm going to be doing breakdowns on BMF as well. I really enjoy that show. And yeah, I think about the run as we kind of go along with all those episodes. But we're talking about this here for a second, right? Why didn't Ronnie and young Kanan work for Simrad until Ronnie found a better connected payback, snaps, and pops? Because selling green product versus selling brown product on the street value it's less lucrative. Depends on where you're selling it, but it's less lucrative. I don't have any professional experience in this. I should put as a disclaimer. I'm just saying, you know, just from the general information of this. But that's why. And so Ronnie is someone who obviously he's used to moving, you know, bigger product and bigger weight, and so he wanted to make more money. So that's more likely why. But this is what I believe the new food chain to be, guys. As we move into season 4, what do you think? Do you think that you can see this being the guy that these younger versions of these characters that we've come to know and love connecting with and saying we love them as a brother? Could you see that being the unique character? Zombie Unique, sorry. The Zombie Unique character. But yeah. C12 Omega says, Unique was dangerous. Oh, he says Unique was dangerous. But not scary. Everything leads to Kanan's Uncle Lulu, Breeze. No, man. Nah, man. you jumped off the cliff with that one, bro. And we're seeing his self-destruction becoming Breeze because Lulu kills are simple and not caring with a Breeze. I'm gonna just put that down. I don't think that's the one, bro. I don't think that's the one. Moving on to the next slide, right? So remember this Breeze character breakdown that when we collect all of the data and the evidence from what we classically knew to be Breeze within the Power universe. Number one, he's the overarching antagonist of the entire universe of Power, right? He's being portrayed as a key antagonist in the Power universe who influences and events and characters posthumously, even beyond his death. He was a drug kingpin background that he had. He was born 1960 Queens. Now, here's a question. Him being born, here we go. Him being born in 1960. We're in 1992 right now. There's been some conflicting reports that Breeze was closer in age to these cats, right? So how could he, let's do the math for a second, right? Let's do the math. So if we say 1992 take away 1960, so that would place him at around 32, right? Which would make sense because Rock looks around that age, and if he and Rock were, doing what they were doing at that time, so let's say Unique is around 32, whatever, right? Granted, he was born exactly in 1960, so by the time we got to 1992, then okay, he'd be 32. So by the time we get to 1996, which is when they take him out, he'd be about 30, 36, 38, I think, 36 or 38. So then if he was born in 1960 in Queens, him being a drug kingpin who controlled the South Side area and was deeply involved in the criminal underworld, from an age perspective, that actually lines up. What do you guys think? From an age perspective, that lines up. I didn't think about that before. You guys are seeing me live, just sort of mull over in my head and whatnot. Like, I have notes and stuff down here too, written that you guys can't see, but it's like, I didn't really think about that. It wouldn't make sense. Unique does look 32 in the show. Okay. He was a mentor, as we know, to a lot of the main characters. So he played a crucial role as a mentor to Kanan, Tommy Egan, and James St. Patrick, aka Ghost, shaping their paths in the drug trade. His death by Ghost and Tommy. Breeze was killed in his apartment by Ghost and Tommy while he was watching Jeopardy, a pivotal event in the series that they've talked about many times. The obstacle to Ghost's ambitions is what Breeze also became. Ghost viewed Breeze as a hindrance to his aspirations of expanding the drug operation beyond the South Side, leading to his decision to eliminate Breeze. Now think about this for a second. We know that Ghost had laundromats. He had the club. So they learned how to move money clean through legitimate businesses that they owned. Unique in this season, because if you think about how he started working with the Chinese restaurant and started moving weight through there. And that seemed to just kind of drop off. That's something that Ronnie was just like, ugh, that ain't no real work, right? I need work, And they kind of dropped that off. Was the premise of moving product through legitimate businesses something that Unique learned, tried to teach Ronnie? Ronnie didn't want to pick it up, and now he'll teach that if he's Breeze. I'm gonna say he is, right? To everybody else, is that where Ghost learns how to now move money, clean money through certain enterprises. That's interesting, because it's the little storylines throughout this season that I really think about, whereas they seem like they got dropped for the most part, but they were still there and they meant to seed, like they were seeds into a bigger narrative. Interesting. So DeMarcus Vaughn says, by this being the 10-year anniversary of the Power universe, which it is, Power would have premiered 10 years ago this year. It would be interesting for the return of Unique and James St. Patrick for Power. Yeah, you got to go back and check some of my old videos on Omari, man. He ain't coming back no time soon. Unfortunately, he's not coming back anytime soon, bro. It would be good, but I don't know. I need to do an update in that video, to be honest. I learned some more stuff. It's not good. I learned some more stuff. It's just not good. But anyways, yeah. So will Unique, if he is Breeze, eventually become an obstacle to Ghost's aspirations and wanting to expand beyond the South Side? If so, why would a Unique Breeze type not want to expand? You know, if a young cat like Ghost comes up and is under his wings, like, hey, yo, we can do this, we can do that. Why would you shoot him down? You know, why would you want him not to expand? What would make Unique? What do you guys think? What would make Unique want to just stay within what he knows to be, you know, we stay in Queens. We can move it through in Queens. That's it. Right? I thought Neek was younger than Rock. See, the thing is, how old is Patina Miller? That's the question, right? Because the character of Rock actually would have had Kanan when she was quite younger. And so trying to even line up the age of the character with the age of the actor is usually the thing you try to do. So if I say, how old is Patina Miller? She's 39 in real life. So realistically, they could kind of push her between 35 and 39. And so that could still place Unique at around, like I said, at 32, you know, area basically. So yeah, I mean, he is still younger than her, if that's the question you're asking. He is. But Rock is 34 in 1992. Kanan was born in August 1975. She was screwing Howard at 16 and told him that she was 17. There you have it. Robbie coming through with the details, man. Breaking it down. All right, so there's the answer for that, man. A Ghost being alive is more believable than Unique being. Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, maybe so. Maybe so. Anyways, his influence and legacy. Despite his death, Breeze's influence and legacy continue to impact the series' narrative and continue to impact YouTubers who claim about him as well. And it affects characters' decisions in the course of events. Yes, it does. Nickname for Ghost. Breeze was responsible for giving James the nickname Ghost, recognizing his stealth and effectiveness in the trade. So, looks like someone's saying that Unique's birth date was 1966. That makes him hella young, bro. What the heck? If he is 1966, so I said 1992, take away 1966, that would make Unique 26. And so if he's 26 and Rock is 34, he in the Google like that? All right, bro, get yours. But anyway, you know, it's like, I don't know, is that true? You guys pulling out from where? Is it like from the Power Stars wiki, or what's going on? Because I would like to know where the information's coming from. But I could see, and if you guys look at a lot of the, kind of pull this down a little bit. If you see a lot of these like icons I have on the side here, we got Ghost in the hoodie, we got Tommy in the hoodie, and then I couldn't find any hoodie photos of future Kanan. But the correlation here is, do they learn their whole outfit style and how they move in the dark clothing and whatnot from Unique, who, if he becomes the Breeze character, right? Maybe they learned that from him at some point. And so that's kind of why I had that there, for us to be able to see the references and see what they're trying to paint us. Because the writers drop things like that. The writers like little subtle Easter eggs for us to go ahead and pick up, because that was a sort of consistent thing within the shows. So yeah, if you've been on this live stream, all 70 plus of you have been on this live stream, have not hit this like button as yet, I would kindly ask you to hit the like button and show your boy some love as we continue on. So we're about 8:30. I don't want to keep it too much longer. I want to get some people on. I'm going to start to open up the call lines if you guys want to come on. We probably have enough time to maybe get one or two people onto the live stream. So here's the thing about it, right? Before we do that, so some of the rules: if you're coming up here to click on the interview button and call in, you got to be on camera, right? No, people want to see you. You got to be on camera. No cursing, no swearing, none of that stuff. Why? Because YouTube hits the video when you do that. They do. They really, really do. And then just make sure that you have good lighting. If you're using your phone or something like that, just make sure your phone, it's kind of sit down and still, so we can go ahead and bring you on. But yeah, Rico Soprano, you're back. Rico, I want you to come up. I want you to come up and talk. I like what you had to say earlier about you don't think, obviously, Ronnie wasn't the guy. You don't think Unique's the guy either. And you think the choice to bring Unique back, was was bad writing. I want you to come up, hit the link in the chat, man. It's the one that's pinned. You guys can go ahead and call in and we can have the conversation a little bit deeper on that. Going into the last set, so we got some comments of some theories that I picked from some of our lovely community here to walk through. And so Josh C says, I think they oh my gosh, originally I didn't read this properly before I put it in here. Originally gonna do D-Wiz's older brother, but then the fans loved Unique and theorized him being Breezed, which shortly they knew he was the only one who could possibly play Breeze. Even he said that himself in his Complex interview. So, okay, you got to go back and read his Complex interview. It's got to be him, or he introduces Breeze to Kanan. I think he comes up because Ghost wouldn't know Unique. He was too young. He would know Breeze after he makes his businesses up and running if it's Unique. Okay, you said a lot there, bro. You said a lot there. C Shorty, I recognize his name. C Shorty says, I believe Marvin and Neek are around the same age. Okay, that would make sense. And she may be a year or two younger. Okay. See, Shorty, I see you a lot around, man. You should come up and click on the call line and come on. Here's the question I have for everybody. Would it make you more comfortable if I let you call in but you didn't come on video? Would that make it more comfortable for you guys to call in? That's the thing. I remember last time we did the live stream, some people said that it's like, oh, why we got to put our face out there, man? And some people just kind of, I guess, feel some kind of way about that or whatever. But it just helps, you want to see it. And then plus, I think I don't want people to come up here on the live and just be like, F you, and then jump off, without actually seeing who they were, to dox them. So that's kind of one of the reasons why you want to have your camera on too. But if you guys want, you can click the call-in link to see. We're going to go through some more theories here. So we're going to say, my thing is maybe Unique is Breeze, but if they planned on keeping him killed off, if they planned on keeping him killed off, who would have been Breeze then? They brought Unique back because people wanted him back. Yeah, again, I don't think that theory leans into the fact that there's some sort of week-to-week shooting happen and the production team pauses to see the reception and continue. So that's not why. That's certainly not why. So Cavalli Holla says Power Breeze fandom. So that's the website they're talking about. Check it out. Unique is Breeze, born in 1966. He wears black, not as smart, but he's strong. He's supposed to be 31 when he died, and he was the biggest dealer on the South Side. Who was the biggest drug dealer? Unique. It's not hard to see. It's hard to sometimes read these things with a punctuation, to be honest. It's not hard to see his Breeze people. So we got a lot of theories in here that's him. And maybe at some point I'll be able to see that more clearly beyond my confirmation bias. I agree. ZDog720 says, I agree that the finale was terrible writing. LOL, especially for a show that's supposed to be grounded in a reality. This is what I'm saying, bro. It's supposed to be grounded in reality. I wouldn't say the finale was terrible. I just said I had issues with it. So, that's all. But not just for Unique coming back, but from an unbelievable resurrection without any explanation, which I'm sure they'll probably explain it, of course, in the next season. We'll see how that happened. But, will they? Because they didn't necessarily really explain, or did they? But I don't remember them explaining how Kanan survived that fire. All we saw was Juke older jukebox, like just kind of taking care of him. How did he survive the fire? They didn't really explain that. Like, it would suck for them to start next season and just like not explain that part of it. You know what I think so? Like that's sort of my thinking behind it. But yeah, so not only but how they just threw away character development, all for fan service and shock value. Not only was Ronnie a wasted character arc, but also why did they spend almost 3 seasons for Rock and Howard keeping their alliance secret and then just reveal it to everyone in the streets that they were working together and Kanan may be their son? Because they were getting ready to take the character of Detective Howard out. From a prediction standpoint, remember, that's something I'd been calling all season. I was like, Omar Epps. That dude, from you and the first episode, take out Burke, and you proud of that? I was like, oh no, they setting this fella up to go this season. So that's why, all of a sudden, all season these seasons he was like this character that nobody really knew much about the affiliation between him and Rock. Everyone, for the most part, still thinks that Kanan is what's his name? I forgot the name. It begins with D. Oh my gosh. Anyways, Kanan was the other guy's son, and how I forgot his name. Vernon Stark is his uncle, and Vernon's brother began with a D. I'm not going to search it up right now because I don't think we need to go through that. But anyways, that's the whole thing. And so that's why it ended up happening in the end. And then just everyone on the streets working together, yeah, that made no sense. And there was no reason at all for them to bring Unique back either. Now they got to go back and do all this unrealistic explaining on how he survived being beat in the head with a metal pipe several times. Bro, you know how sensitive your brain is? Like, do you know how sensitive this cranium area is? You getting your head bashed in with a pipe after your body takes a beating. DEFCON. That's what it is. Kanan's father's DEFCON. Thank you, James St. Patrick. Good to have you back. But DEFCON, that's Kanan's real dad. Forgive me. There's a lot of names to remember sometimes, right? I have notes, but there's a lot of names to remember sometimes. How do you survive getting bashed in the head? That's my thing. How? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe, a broken bone, if something on your legs and your arms and your torso, but not your head, bro. That was a hard swing. Like, you guys saw it. That was some hard swings that he got. And then he was in the back trunk for how long? Because Ronnie had to drive him out pretty far to dump the body, I'm assuming. So he was in the back trunk, basically unconscious all the time, and then tossed down the hill and left for how long? So who would have gotten him help at that stage? Or was he playing dead? That's the question. Was he playing dead? Is something that we have to be able to ask ourselves. But I don't know. It's just, yeah, I don't know, man. Talks Kazim says that I'm glad C. Kemp is gone. Bye-bye. I wouldn't say she's necessarily gone 100%. She's still credited as an executive producer, same way how 50 is still credited as an executive producer, even though he's no longer affiliated with Starz. So they still collect like checks and stuff in royalty form from the show, and people still respect them there. So they'll pop up on set if they want to, and still contribute in ways that they want. But she has a first look deal, an exclusive first look deal over at Netflix. So she's not heavily involved in the day-to-day with the Power shows anymore, and it's kind of left with the individual showrunners. But I think one of the reasons he kind of brings it up is because if we ever want to see certain characters back again, if you guys check out on my original videos, there's alleged beef between an executive producer here and Omari. There's alleged beef, and so if we ever want to see him come back, there's got to be a lot of forgiveness. I think I found out some things recently, bro. I just like, what the heck, bro? I haven't even brought it to you guys yet, but yeah. The beating from Ronnie is the only way that they can have character. They can have a character they already had change his whole perspective on things in terms of trust. Unique is dead, but will come back completely different. Yeah, I think he'll move a little bit different. Having your brother leave you basically for dead is not something that you take lightly, and whatnot. So I think that will change him fundamentally as a character. Marcus says, I wonder if Unique was after Pernessa's mother house healing, or was at her house healing. Didn't we see Pernessa in the finale when she was talking to Rock? I think she seemed a little more calmer. She did. But would she have revealed? Would Unique have revealed himself to her? Now I think Unique would at least want his son to know that he's well. So a lot of him know his son to know that. Pernessa would have to know because his son is still quite young. So I think at some point he would have had to reveal himself to Pernessa. But again, that would only be for the kid. Unique didn't really care much about Pernessa. Keep in mind he was cheating on her. So, that's also something that, to consider as well. Next comment says, he's not Breeze. His name is Unique, not Breeze. Breeze is simply another character that will be revealed in the next season, possibly. Y'all been saying this all along. Y'all saying he was going to get revealed at the end of this season. Y'all think that's what happened? I mean, I don't know. This is running, This is running similar to real life, street life. So no, he won't be doing any corny name change all of a sudden being called Breeze. The way how they might do it, I don't know. Who knows? That's the whole thing. Another comment comes in here and says that Linda says, Unique's not Breeze. Unique ain't even going to be in season 4. He's not coming back. Now, Linda, who is your source? There's some set photos that came out from the season 4 set that leaked. We can see these things on Reddit and other microsites. Unique's on set. He's on set, all right. So he's in season 4. Now, why would they reveal him at the end of the season if he's not going to be in season 4, Now, I'm not going to show anybody those set photos and whatnot because I don't believe in spoiling people with certain things like that. But yeah, so he's definitely there though. Next comment is Unique is the origin story of Breeze. That's it. But the question people have is how does he change his name? Well, here's a good point that somebody just made. Rock Miles says that, so we got somebody calling in. So Rock Miles says that Unique's name is dead in the streets. So maybe that's why they go ahead and they make him Breeze. Who knows? But we'll go ahead and see, man. We'll see. Robbie, let me make sure that your mic is good. I'm gonna bring you up. I'm gonna add you to my right. Remember, no cursing, no profanity, and make sure that you got a good connection and we can go ahead and hear you as well. So say something. Let's see if we got you. Robbie?
Yeah.
You good? Can you hear me?
I think I need to turn off YouTube.
You would need to turn off YouTube. So just kind of focus on this stream here, and that'll save you some bandwidth as well.
Okay.
So let me know when you turn that off. But here's what I want to do. People who come up, you can't close it.
Yeah, I closed YouTube,
All
but
right.
I can't see you though.
So I mean, you should be able to see me on the interview. But Robbie, let me ask you something. Where are you from?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. What do you think? Do you think that it's possible Unique is Breeze?
It's possible, but I'm not crazy about that theory though.
Tell me what you think. What is it? Break it down for me.
I would prefer he be a new character.
Really?
Now I think Unique surviving is kind of fantastic. That someone could survive that kind of head trauma. When you look at the scene where Ronnie is beating the mess out of his head,
the brakes off him, just beating the brakes off him.
Yeah, that's kind of far-fetched. But I didn't want to see Unique killed off in episode 5 either. So that he was my favorite character. But way back in I think it was season 2, when Unique was talking about his name was no more good in the street. That was the first time I thought about him recreating himself as Breeze. That was actually my first prediction about Breeze, is that it would be Unique, but for different reasons and circumstances.
So if we lead into that as a theory, that means that Unique never, let's say they make him Breeze or something like that. That means he could never really truly show his face publicly, in the streets like that. He would just be the guy teaching Kanan and and Ghost and Tommy and all that kind of stuff. In order for him to do that, he just have a new name and just be called Breeze. So that means he'd never be public again. I mean, they gotta do some creative writing with this. I don't know how they're gonna do it. It's got to be real creative writing.
And another thing, I think that he was rescued by Stefano or some of his folks.
Stefano Marchetti.
Right.
They did have a relationship, yeah.
I believe Stefano is definitely going to push up on Rock as part of the interest on that money.
Well, you don't go ahead and just mention the fact that you have a crush on someone and don't plan to act on that at some point, especially if you have the power to do it. So I think maybe at some point we could go ahead and see that happen for sure. And then maybe, of course, we know Rock and her family, they have to win. So if that does happen and Stefano, he gets out of the way, and they'll probably end up taking him out at some point. But Tony Danza, he's a classic man, so you can't just take out a classic actor like that and disrespectfully. But yeah.
But if I can change the subject just a little bit,
go on.
The part of the season that I really got into personally was the Lou storyline with the alcoholism. And that's because my profession, I'm actually a licensed alcohol and drug abuse counselor.
Really?
In the state of Tennessee, yes. And I've also got 30 years of sobriety.
Wow.
I first went into treatment in 1992. Okay.
That's interesting. 1992. Actually, where they're at in the show right now. Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yeah. So that piece with the little family session with Raquel, I could really feel that, and but Lou is definitely going to have to take personal responsibility for his recovery.
For his part of that.
Right. And I really thought he was going to go ahead and hang himself, and I would have been, because suicide does happen with addictions.
Yeah.
I had a cousin that killed himself by hanging because of his gambling addiction. Now with the opioid addiction, I work in opioid treatment now, and there's a lot of suicide and overdoses. So that's a very real issue,
Yeah. So you were able to relate a lot with what happened with him. That's interesting, man, because it's with all the things and the threads that were being tied together within this whole season. I think that he did a great job of playing that part and really bringing us into his pain, because at first, kind of in the first episode, especially when he was on the floor talking to Kanan, and we kind of made it seem as if it's Lou just complaining, but then over the course of time we see how, and even the connection to his father, who allegedly would have also taken himself out and would have abused as well. And so that's amazing. What are some other things that you saw, particularly within this season with the character of Lou, that you see in your profession as well, that maybe the writers didn't touch on well enough, or they did maybe?
Well, the he mentioned 12 steps to the FBI guys. Y'all might have to go through the 12 steps with me, and that's a very real spiritual program, whether it's AA, NA, or CA. So the 12 steps, if he does that kind of work, which is pretty intense work actually.
Yeah.
And that deals with resentments, fears, and sex relations in the inventory work. And just like I had to realize in therapy and treatment that I had more resentments against my mother that I couldn't even look at until I was 30-something years old. And we have to work through those kind of issues. And then, of course, somewhere or another, build a relationship with God. And it's not, the 12 steps is not a religion or a cult. It's a spiritual program of action. And so calling for Raquel was, I think, perfect for him to do that and to want to face that demon, because she was one of his demons.
Do you think that the scene where they hugged it out and at the car, was that enough, you think, for them to really truly repair that rift between them? Or do you think that that's just sort of a momentary thing? Because after that, you see him still go ahead and try to delete himself. So what do
I
you think?
think I think the attempted deletion was triggered more by the FBI and how he had to continue to lie and cover up, and finally realizing that really that is who he is. I think that's going to be, I think, the next layer to his character is who is he going to be?
Yeah.
Is he going to be a totally revised Lou, or is he going to accept that he is that demon child that Rock created? But I think the hug and whatnot was really better for Raquel than for Lou.
Because if you really think about how they talk about how this whole thing really got started, and I mentioned that a lot in my videos as well, was Rock really brought the family into the game, because she was kind of, for the most part, left with it after her boyfriend would have gotten taken out while Kanan was still a baby, and so she would have needed help, and they needed to go kind of deeper back into that. I'm going to go back to season 1 and really make a video on that too. But this life isn't something that Lou wanted. And so for him to get to a point now where he's the younger brother and he's supposed to be protected and covered, by his older siblings and by his parents and whatnot. And so he's, that as a character, I think I didn't do a lot of justice really covering Lou's journey this season. I think I focused so much on Breeze and whatnot that that journey emotionally for him, it would have connected with a lot of people, like you're saying, like yourself, from a personal level, you would have connected with that. But now mulling it over in my mind, I don't know. I think that we got a lot more work to do with that character. A lot more work to do with him.
Oh, definitely, because we still don't have the story about the parents.
That's true.
We
just
don't
have
have
the mother.
that. I was wondering a few episodes back, what was the purpose of bringing the mother on there?
That's the thing about it too. I was wondering as well.
Clearly, he's got mommy issues because Raquel was more mother to him than their own mama.
Right.
And then Raquel was so young. She would have only been like maybe 26 or 27 when High Post was killed. Because you remember at the beginning, Kanan said that a year later, High Post was burned for snitching.
Right.
So the whole family is traumatized. So if you had if the dad committed suicide or drank himself to death, then you got 3 children who were in an alcoholic, drug addicted family, and there's no way around. They say addiction is a family disease. That's how we teach it, and so everybody is affected by the disease, whether it's the daddy or Lou or and Marvin had addiction too. Still does. It's like eating all the time.
That's interesting, because I was going to ask if that's something that's necessarily passed down, unfortunately, in some cases. What would be Raquel's addiction and what would be Marvin's addiction? But you're saying it's his eating, and that's true. He's always snacking on chips and whatever he can get around. So how does that psychologically line up with
Well, it's kind of like, a lot of times when people recover from drugs and alcohol, they say something is substituted.
Yes. That's
And
where
a
you got
lot
the
of
nicotine gum from, and yeah.
recovering addicts can then become gambling addicts or sex addicts. I think, no doubt, Raquel is addicted to power and control.
That's why
All
she had to come
addictions,
back. Right.
right? All addictions are not drugs and alcohol, but it's that compulsion, that compulsive behavior
Her addiction is power
and control.
and control. So that's why even when she decided to leave the game, she had to come back. She was like in a conversation with her and Marvin outside the salon or one of the buildings. She was just like, this, what else am I gonna do? Like, this is, why am I trying to pretend this is me? It's like, but she's addicted to it. She can't even, you have money, you have the home, you have the everything. It's like, you don't need to go back to make more money. You're good. But you're addicted to the power. Get it? She's addicted to the power. Y'all see that? That's what I did there. Hit the like button just because I made it funny.
That's still the name of the show, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's still the name of it. But wow, that's an interesting perspective. I appreciate you coming up and sharing that. Before I let you go, what would you change if you were to rewrite any part of this season? It could be from Lou's journey. It could be from anyone else's storyline this season. What would you rewrite and weave in some things in there?
I really don't think Ronnie was necessary to move the story. I really don't. Not just to be taken out in one season anyway. Yeah. But he was a bit too much, and bordering on comic relief, really. I just don't think it was necessary. I would have liked to see more of the Raquel and Unique relationship, or her struggle to stay out of the game. It was enough going on to create drama, even with just her and Kanan. More Stefano would have been good. We had the Marvin arc, which was perfectly written, I think, very well written.
Oh, amazing! They did a great job with this character this season. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the running character was probably the biggest disappointment. I don't think it was needed.
I also I share in your sentiments there as well that he's not needed now at this stage. I mean, I'm having to have a whole live stream because the character, I was standing on business about him and now he gone. So I agree, he didn't need to actually happen as a character. But listen, Ronald, I thank you so much for coming up, man, and coming on the stream and having this conversation with me. Thank you for following and supporting the channel. Listen, I think you added some value to this conversation, particularly some things that I wasn't thinking about before as it relates to the Lou story. And I'm going to go back and really start to rewatch a lot of this stuff. But thank you for your service and all that you do as a licensed professional within the space. And until next time, man, I'm going to drop you off.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a very, very good conversation. All right, we just hit the 1 hour mark. Y'all know when I started this conversation, I said I wasn't trying to go longer than a couple of minutes, maybe 30, 45 minutes, an hour. So I do have a couple more theories, subscriber comment theories that I wanted to go through before I hop off. I don't want to keep this too long. If anybody else wants to jump on the call, the link is still there pinned to the chat. You guys can go ahead and hop on if you want to. But going through a couple more of these subscriber comments is something I'm going to do. We got a couple more things jumping in here. I definitely feel the brother who shared about addiction and his take on the show. I want to expound on it a bit. Rock is most addicted to power and control, but her syndrome is complex as well. Yeah, I mean, I wonder how in the end the show is gonna, her character's gonna end. Let me ask you guys a question, right? Put this inside the chat for a second. Do you think Raquel survives the end of the show? When Kanan says in Power, I think it was season 2 of the original Power, that he went to visit and see his mom. Was he talking about he saw his mom at the cemetery, or he physically saw her? Let me know what you think. Do you think she survives raising Kanan, or do you think not? That's something that's very important, because her as a character in terms of development, we gotta break Rock, man. That's what we gotta do. As a character, she is too invincible at this stage. I'm gonna be careful how I say that because people clip things, right? But as a character now, everyone's getting broken. Marv's getting broken. Lou's getting broken. We gotta break Rock as well. We really got to. I don't think the mob hit at the beginning of the season did it the way that it should have. We got to see that emotional breaking. She's really tough as a character, and rightfully so, but I want to see that development of her really going through the emotional swings of all that she's gone through and what made her into that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do think M-Trey Beats. I do think that she survives if it's loosely based off of 50 Cent's story. Frankie B Notes also says that 50's mother dies in real life as well. Talk says that I don't think Kanan will kill her. I'm saying he's gonna take her out. I'm just saying if she survives the show, that's what I'm trying to get to. Like if she actually, makes it all the way. But going back to some of the subscriber comments, last couple of theories that I want to touch on that we can slide out of here is Sean Stevenson says, I still don't think Unique is Breeze. He will be a darker version of Unique. I think he became a stick-up kid. You mean a stuck-up kid? I'm sorry, guys. That's how I read it. Rock may or may not work with him. I think she probably won't because of Pranessa knowing about them. Kanan will interact with Unique, but not work together. Breeze will enter mid-season 4 through snaps and Pops' circle. Kanan will need that work. Ronnie line, I need that work. Ronnie, LOL. So they will hook him up with someone close to his age. They will assume Rock or Howard took out Ronnie. What do you guys think about? Do you guys know why Rock took out Howard, by the way? Like, was it clear to you? It was clear to me. But let me know inside the comment section if you guys knew, like, why she did that. Like, particularly, here's my thing. At that stage, he became a huge liability. Like, you're telling her her brother needs to go, right? Think about that for a second. Her brother needs to go. He needs to take the fall for all this stuff. And I think realistically, she's going to protect her own, but it started to appear to her that, well, the police are already investigating you. So what if I took him out and we could find some way to pin all this stuff on him, just like how we tried to pin all that stuff on the record producer, I forgot what his name, Crown Camacho, earlier in the season as well. So it's kind of regurgitation of the same stuff. Like I can see them pinning a lot of the things, on Howard as well. But yeah, Stars not let Patina Miller go like that. She is the star of Raising Kanan. She is really, she in terms of becoming a face of the network now, her and I want to say Michael Rainey Jr. and then maybe to some extent Mary J. But I don't know. To me, Omari will always kind of hold that position, but that's just me. I'm biased on that, right? But last set of theories would be, I'm glad Unique is back because he's Breeze, so now everything is going to switch. He probably messed up in the head. He's probably messed up in the head because of the beating his brother did on him. I would like to see if he is. I believe he definitely is going to be messed up in the head because of that. Unique already was a silent beast, but I think he's going to be way worse now and got a different look. I think he's going to be different mentally in terms of certain things, but I always want us to go back to the fact of what we class. If they make him Breeze, and I'm not saying he is, I'm saying if, right? Keep in mind, Ghost loved him like a brother. So he cannot evolve into this character that is not likable and not lovable. He has to be that charming Unique that we still know, but I think now he comes back with more of an edge and more of a chip on his shoulder and a little bit of a darkness in terms of having his eyes really opened up towards the world, having your own brother try to kill you. So that's going to be a whole thing. I'm dropping the kind of words I'm dropping on this live stream yet. I wonder if YouTube has already hit this video. Certain words, like during the live stream and whatnot, you just cannot say. Like the S word, which was I replaced with deletion and kill and whatnot. YouTube funny, bro. I'm telling you now, YouTube is funny. But wrapping things up on this end, guys, one more theory. I think an important question has to be asked in regards to Unique. Do you think the writers would go to this extreme only to bring back the same old Unique with nothing being changed about his character / personality as if nothing ever happened? It would make no sense. They are clearly taking his character into a totally different direction. He was beaten several times in the head, and he will clearly have some kind of brain damage. He has scars and swelling. He clearly is no longer a pretty boy. Pretty boy unique no more. He no longer wears jewelry. No more designer stuff. So, yeah, I agree. He won't be pretty boy unique anymore. I don't know if he's going to end up still, having a relationship with Rock, because when she sees his face and stuff, I think that's going to be difficult. But also the fact that fundamentally their whole situation's changed now, because remember, she did break things off with him before he got hit. And now with Pranessa knowing about everything and her building, some sort of friendship with Pranessa, I don't think they're going to revisit that. They got to bring my boy Symphony back, man, Give us some 90s love once again. 90s black love. So yeah, I mean that's sort of my perspective on it all. But if no one else is going to hop on and join the call, I think it's only going to be Ronald. I appreciate Ronald coming on from Memphis and really contributing some depth to the conversation for that. But if no one else is going to come on, guys, I was wrong. And like I told you, if I was wrong, I would come up here on live and say I was wrong about standing on business about Ronnie being Breeze. So here it is. I owned up to it. It is what it is. I'm going to hold off from going ahead, moving forward, and making so much of these theories. I'll stick to some of my predictions, but for the most part, the theories and whatnot, I'm gonna be careful with this particular one in the future. But this is what it is, guys. I just wanted to have this opportunity to be able to connect with you all and have this conversation. The chat's on fire. We're all talking. I'd love to see you pull up a lot of these comments and comments from other videos with other people having their theories as well, and people who are coming on and calling. And so it's been a fun one, everyone. I didn't want to keep this too long. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, get you guys out of here. It is a Friday night. Thank you guys once again for hopping on another B Talks Live to talk about Raising Kanan. The next set of videos you guys are going to see from me is I'm going to go into a hibernation of watching BMF, so that when the new season 3 premieres, I will also be dropping some breakdown videos for that as well. So be on the lookout for that when that happens. Thank you guys for joining on. I love you, all of your support. Appreciate your support. Love all you guys. Until next time, peace.